Hello children, welcome to online classes. Today we will discuss questions from hydrogen, S block elements and redox reactions. The first question, the lightest element in the periodic table is. So lightest element is hydrogen, its configuration is 1s1. So therefore the lightest element. Hydrogen is the lightest element in the periodic table, option C. Second one, the radioactive isotope of hydrogen is, it has three isotopes, protium, that is 1H1, tritium 1H3 and deuterium 1H2. This is called heavy hydrogen, this is called normal hydrogen, and this is called radioactive hydrogen, and this is beta active in nature. So option is B. So tritium is the answer, which is beta active in nature. Hard water is passed through cation exchange resin, that is SO3H group. Outcoming water is free from. When it is passed through cation exchange resin, all cations will be exchanged. So here Ca plus 2 will be exchanged here, Ca plus 2, except H plus ion, remaining all cations will be exchanged. So option is D. So D is the answer. Temporary hardness of water is due to the presence of bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium cause temporary hardness. Chlorides and calcium, chlorides of calcium and magnesium, these two, and sulfates, they will cause permanent hardness. And this will not cause any type of hardness. Calcium and magnesium carbonates will not cause any hardness. So temporary hardness is because of bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. So answer is option C. So C is the answer. Permanent hardness of water is because of presence of, it should be chlorides and sulfates of magnesium and then calcium. So sulfates of magnesium and calcium, this is the answer. So option A. Then the permanent hardness is because of, so answer is option A here. Then substance used for regeneration of exhausted permatite is. Exhausted permatite. Permatite actually contains sodium ions. When you are using sodium ions, it is exchanging all cations and all sodium ions are replaced by calcium and magnesium ions in the process of purification using zeolite. So it is again regenerated back by using brine solution. 10% NaCl is used. So brine is used for regeneration of permatite. So brine is the answer, 10% solution of NaCl. Then the exhausted permatite does not contain. Basically permatite is sodium. Permatite mainly contains sodium ions in it, and sodium ions are completely exchanged with water, with calcium and magnesium ions. Sodium ions are replaced by calcium and magnesium ions. Hence, sodium ions will not be present in permatite. They are completely exchanged with the calcium and magnesium ions of hard water. So option is A. Eighth one. The number of moles of H2O2 needed to reduce 1 mole of potassium permanganate in acidic medium. Number of moles of H2O2 needed to reduce 1 mole of potassium permanganate in acidic medium. Let us balance the equation first. So potassium permanganate KMnO4 plus H2SO4 giving rise to K2SO4 plus MnSO4 plus H2O oxygen. So K2, so 2K, 2Mn, 2Mn. Sulfates are 3 sulfuric acid. So 3 here. Then oxygens are coming to 5. Next, H2O2 takes the nascent oxygen and becomes H2O, releases oxygen gas. Is balanced. We are getting 5 oxygens, so multiply this into 5. So therefore, altogether 2 moles of potassium permanganate reacts with 5 moles of H2O2 plus 3 moles of sulfuric acid, giving rise to. Any of products are not required for us. 2 moles reacts with 5 moles. So 1 mole of permanganate reacts with how many moles of H2O2? So 1 mole reacts with how many? Implies 2.5. So answer is 2.5 moles. That is option B. Then 9th one. During decomposition of H2O2, it undergoes. Decomposition of H2O2 means H2O2 changes into H2O and liberates oxygen gas. So 2H2O2 we can write here then. Now here oxidation numbers for H2O2, this is -1, 0, this is -2 we have. Means oxidation state of oxygen atom is increasing as well as decreasing. So therefore option D. D is the correct answer. Next. Why when H2O2 is added to acidified ferrous sulfate solution? So ferrous will always become ferric. So therefore number of electrons lost by ferrous ion will be 1 to become ferric ion. So number of electrons are lost by ferrous to become ferric. Answer is B. Next. Which of the following sodium halides has highest ionic nature? So highest ionic nature, largest cation, smallest anion will have highest ionic nature. Largest cation, all cations are same here, and smallest anion, so smallest is fluoride ion here now. So answer is NaF. So option A. So A is the answer. Next. Metal bond strength is maximum in the case of. Down the group, metallic bond strength decreases. So first is going to have strongest bond strength. So lithium is the answer. Li. Next. Sodium ordinarily does not show an oxidation state of +2 because sodium ordinarily does not show oxidation state of +2 because it's having very highest second ionization potential energy. It's having a configuration of NS1, so we can remove one electron easily, but not second one now. So it's having highest second IP value. Second electron cannot be removed easily. So answer is option B. Next. Alkali metals in each period have. So we can say each period have lowest ionization potential because across the period IP values are increasing. Therefore they have the least ionization potential values. So answer is option B. Then alkali metal impart color to the flame because of lowest IP values, their electrons can be excited very much easily. Because of low IP values, their electrons can be excited easily and thereby they show different colors in the flame. Answer is option A. So A is the answer. The configuration of outermost orbit in the case of alkaline earth metals, that is second group elements. Second group elements have NS2 configuration. So answer is A. Which shows anomalous behavior. In a group, always the first element will be having anomalous properties. The first element of a group means beryllium shows anomalous behavior. So answer is option A. Then alkaline earth metals show divalency, means +2 oxidation state they show. Next. Ionization potentials of alkaline earth metals are. IP of alkaline earth metals are, They are comparing alkaline earth and alkali in the options given to us. So they are going to have alkaline earth metals have highest IP values when compared to alkali metals. So more than that of alkali metals. Option C. So C is the answer. The element which shows radioactivity is the last element in that group. Radium shows radioactivity. So option D. Then, which is a reducing agent in the following reaction? So we need to see the oxidation numbers to understand reducing agent. Let us write the oxidation numbers. So iodine will be 0 plus S2O3 minus 2 giving rise to S4O6 minus 2 plus I minus. Iodine 0 has become minus 1 state. And then sulfur is plus 2 state here. It is here plus 2.5. So sulfur plus 2 to plus 2.5 increase means has undergone oxidation. Undergoing oxidation means this is nothing but reducing agent. So therefore S2O3 minus 2 is a reducing agent. It's undergone oxidation. So answer is option A. What is the change in oxidation number of sulfur in half reaction of SO3 minus 2 to SO4 minus 2? SO3 minus 2 will have plus 4 oxidation state and SO4 minus 2 will have plus 6 for sulfur. So plus 4 to plus 6. Option A. Option A. Then, what is the change in oxidation number of manganese in the half reaction now? So MnO4 minus, in MnO4 minus, Mn has plus 7 state and Mn plus 2 directly given to us. So plus 7 to plus 2 state we have. Plus 7 to plus 2, option is A. Then, what is oxidizing agent in the redox reaction? Again we need to write, we have to write oxidation numbers now. Cr2O7 minus 2, chromium is having plus 6 state here now, plus I minus giving rise to 2Cr plus 3 plus IO3 minus now, IO3 minus. So chromium plus 6 to plus 3 state here now. Plus 6 to plus 3 state means has undergone reduction now. Undergone reduction. Undergoing reduction means oxidizing agent. So answer is option A. A is the answer. What is the increase in oxidation number of iodine in half reaction I minus to IO3 minus? I minus to IO3 minus. IO3 minus has plus 5 state for iodine. It is minus 1 here now. So minus 1 to plus 5 state now. Minus 1 to plus 5 will be 6 units of change you have. It is a minus 1. So it will be 6 units of change. Answer is option A. Then, how many electrons are gained by manganese in the half reaction MnO4 minus to MnO2? MnO4 minus will have plus 7 state to MnO2 is having plus 4 state now. Plus 7 to plus 4. Number of electrons gained are 3 electrons then now. So plus 3 electrons we have. So option is option B then now. B answer. 3 electrons are gained. How are oxygen atoms balanced by oxidation number method for balancing redox reaction? To balance oxygen atoms, always we add water molecules now. So by adding water molecules, option A. So A is the answer. What is the oxidation in the redox reaction? What is the oxidation in the redox reaction? Sorry, oxidation in the redox reaction. So carbon will be, what is the oxidation in the redox reaction now? Which is undergoing oxidation then now. So if you see carbon, 0 becomes plus 4 state then now. 0 to plus 4 is nothing but oxidation process, increase of oxidation number. So carbon is undergoing oxidation now. So oxidation is C2CO2. Option A. So question is, what is oxidation in the redox reaction? C2CO2 is oxidation in the redox reaction. A option. Then, what is change in oxidation number of sulfur when sulfuric acid is converted to sulfur dioxide? Sulfuric acid H2SO4 will have plus 6 state. Sulfur dioxide SO2 will have plus 4 state now. So plus 6 to plus 4 state you have. Option A. Option A. Then the in ion electron method, hydrogen atoms are balanced in acidic medium by adding H plus ions. So in acidic medium, we balance hydrogen atoms by adding H plus ions now. That is option C. So C is the answer. Then, among the two solvents H2O and then D2O, pick up the correct statement or correct relation between those two. H2O has high dielectric constant, it's true. Low molar mass, also true. Because molar mass of D2O is higher than that of molar mass of H2O. So option A is correct. That is having high dielectric constant as well as the low molar mass when compared to D2O. So A is the answer. Then Kalgan uses the softening of hot water by it forms a coordination compound with calcium and then magnesium ions. It's also called sesquitration of calcium and magnesium ions. Nothing but formation of coordination compounds with that. Then structure of H2O2 is H2O2 is having open book structure because along the spine of the book we have two oxygens. In two leaves we have two hydrogen atoms present. It's called open book structure. Then answer is open. 34th. H2O2 acts as reducing agent when it reacts with lead sulfide will be changing into lead sulfate, that is PbSO4. KMnO4 changes into Mn plus 2. Ferrous sulfate becomes ferric sulfate, so Fe plus 3. Formaldehyde becomes formic acid. So formaldehyde became formic acid means formaldehyde has undergone oxidation. Ferrous to ferric, again oxidation. Lead sulfide again oxidation. Only here we have a decrease of oxidation state. Mn plus 7 to Mn plus 2. So H2O is acting as a reducing agent in the case of option B. So B is the answer here. Next one. Which of the following ions can be replaced by H plus ions when H2 gas is bubbled through a solution of containing these ions now. Now when you take copper ions, copper is actually placed below in electrochemical series. So if you take this reaction, say Cu plus H plus, this reaction cannot take place. Copper cannot displace H plus ions. If you take the reverse reaction, that is to say Cu plus 2 plus H2, this reaction is possible now. It implies that H plus ions are replaced. Which are the following ions can be replaced by H plus ions when H2 gas is bubbled through the solution? If you are passing H2 gas through the solution of copper sulfate, then you can get H plus ions now. So this reaction is possible. So option is C. This takes place. So C is the answer. Then mass percentage of 30 volumes H2O2 solution. We know from standard data 10 volumes is nearly equal to 3%. Implies 30 volumes will be nearly equal to 9% then. Option B. 36. Option B. 37th. When a substance reacts with water, it produces a combustible gas B and a solution of substance C in water. When another substance D reacts with the solution C, produces the same gas B on warming. D can produce B on reaction with sulfuric acid at room temperature. A imparts golden yellow color to a smokeless flame. Golden yellow color to smokeless flame. Golden yellow is an indication that the metal must be sodium. So reactions are of sodium reactions then now. Let us see the reactions. Say substance A, so sodium reacting with water produces combustible gas H2 and a solution of sodium hydroxide, and this is a C. So this is a B. This is A. Another substance, that is zinc plus NaOH. So this is D here. C, giving rise to again same combustible gas it forms. Plus it will be Na2Zn O2. Again substance D with sulfuric acid H2SO4 also produces H2 gas. H2 plus it will be zinc sulfate then. And A imparts golden yellow color to the flame, means they are nothing but sodium reactions only. So option must be A. So A is the answer. Next, 38th one. On dissolving moderate amount of sodium metal in liquid ammonia at low temperature, which of the following does not occur? Which of the following does not occur? So when you dissolve liquid ammonia in water, what happens is, so sodium first of all ionizes, it forms Na plus electron here, and ammonia plus sodium ions, means sodium ions are getting here ammoniated now. So Na, say NH3 taken like say X times here now. Electrons, they are also solvated, nothing but you can call them as ammoniated now. Electron, ammonia, let us take here say Y times now. In solution these two are present then now. Because of these two, solution has blue color, solution has a blue color, and sodium ions are formed in the solution, and a very good conductor because of ions which are present there now. And it is because of electrons that is going to be paramagnetic. But as given here, option D is given as diamagnetic in nature, which is not correct. So it's going to be paramagnetic. Option is D. So D is the answer for that. Next, 39th one. A solid compound X on heating gives carbon dioxide. X gives carbon dioxide and some residue. Residue mixed with water forms Y. On passing excess of CO2 through Y, a clear solution of Z is obtained. On boiling Z, compound X is formed. What is the compound X? So passing CO2 gas through excess of CO2 gas, we get a clear solution of Z. So Y should be calcium hydroxide then now. So the reactions come in this way then. Calcium carbonate on heating, we get CO2 plus CaO, calcium oxide. So residue is calcium oxide. Calcium oxide passing carbon dioxide excess now. First of all it forms calcium hydroxide and then excess of that. Means initially if you put here water, say plus water, we get calcium hydroxide as a precipitation there now. And when you pass excess of CO2 gas through this, so CO2 gas excess then you are going to get calcium carbonate and calcium bicarbonate finally. So you are going to get calcium bicarbonate, CaHCO3. This is formed. This is a clear solution of Z. If you are heating again calcium bicarbonate, that is CaHCO3, were heated strongly again, we are going to get CaCO3. CaCO3, CO2 will form plus H2O. So calcium carbonate is giving calcium oxide. Calcium oxide plus water forms calcium hydroxide. Passing excess of CO2 will come calcium bicarbonate. Heating, again you are going to get carbon dioxide and calcium carbonate. So the option must be A then now, calcium carbonate. Then, when sodium chloride dissolved in water, sodium ions. Sodium chloride in water means here, sodium ions will be just surrounded by water molecules only. Some X times here you can write, Na plus ion. So sodium ions are simply getting hydrated there. Option A. They are surrounded by water molecules. Sorry, option B. Then, sodium salt of unknown anion when treated with magnesium chloride, a white PPT only on boiling. The anion is white PPT only on boiling, anion is no. So if you take bicarbonates on heating, so MgCl2, if it is a bicarbonate upon heating here, means Mg plus 2 ions are there, Mg plus 2 ions are there, plus suppose you have here bicarbonate in the solution. On heating this, we get initially soluble bicarbonate is being formed here, and then further heating strongly now. Then we get a precipitate magnesium carbonate. So magnesium chloride, first of all, unknown anion must be bicarbonate anion there now. That forms a bicarbonate. Strong heating gives rise to magnesium carbonate as a white precipitate. Plus, of course, carbon dioxide plus water. So anion must be bicarbonate anion there now. So answer is option B. B is the answer. The chloride of element A use neutral solution with water. In the periodic table, the element A belongs to alkali metal halides. Aqueous solutions are neutral. Alkali metal halides, aqueous solutions are neutral. Means it should be first group. So answer is first group. Then, a metal M readily forms water-soluble sulfate, insoluble hydroxide, and MO becomes inert on heating. And oxide MO becomes inert on heating. Hydroxide is soluble in NaOH. See once again, metal M readily forms metal sulfate, which is water soluble, and water insoluble hydroxide and oxide MO, which becomes inert on heating. Oxide MO, which becomes inert on heating. The hydroxide is soluble in sodium hydroxide now. So these are the properties of beryllium only. Because beryllium sulfate is readily soluble in water and beryllium hydroxide insoluble in water. BeO it forms, and BeO is inert on heating, doesn't react. But BeO is soluble in NaOH, forming berylate ion. Therefore, answer is option B. See once again, beryllium forms beryllium sulfate, which is a water soluble compound only, beryllium sulfate. But beryllium hydroxide is not soluble in water. Even beryllium oxide and BeO and oxide MO, which becomes inert on heating. This is inert on heating now. And is also soluble in NaOH because it forms sodium berylate is being formed. So option is A. Answer A. Then, certain compound of calcium reacts with water with hissing sound, and releases large amount of heat. The compound is so with hissing sound and releasing heat is calcium oxide, because calcium oxide plus water, it forms calcium hydroxide. And here hissing, and it gives large amount of heat. Approximately it is 208.05 kilojoules of heat. We did not remember the value of heat here, but undergoes dissolution in water and produces large amount of heat during the formation of calcium hydroxide. So answer is option C. Quicklime is the answer. Then oxidation state of nitrogen in N3H. So N3H, let us take N as X. So 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. 3x is equal to minus 1. X is equal to minus 1 by 3. X is equal to minus 1 by 3. Option A. So A is the answer. In the reaction Br2 giving rise to BrO3 minus, the change in oxidation state of bromine atom. So Br2 0 giving rise to BrO3 minus. Here you have plus 5 state, 0 here now. 0 to plus 5. So option is C. In the reaction Y moles of MnO4 minus plus X moles of H plus and C2O4 minus 2. X and Y are X and Y. So we need to balance the reaction. Let us take the reaction MnO4 minus plus H plus plus C2O4 minus 2 giving rise to Mn plus 2 CO2. So C2O4 Mn will be plus 7 state here, plus 2 state here. So change is 5 here. And this is plus 3 for carbon atom, plus 4 here now. So for each atom plus 1 change, there are 2 atoms. So change is 2. So when you crisscross these two, we get here 2 MnO4 minus plus 5 here, 5 C2O4 minus 2 giving rise to 2 Mn plus 2 plus 10 CO2. Now we need to balance oxygen atoms now. Here 5 into 4, 20 are there, plus 8, 28. Of which 20 are present here. We require 8 oxygens, means it should be 8 H2O then now. Now hydrogens are 16 here, so 16 will come here now. So 2 and then 16. The 2 and 16 we are getting. So option is B then now. So MnO4 coefficient is 2. MnO4 coefficient is 2, that is Y is 2. And X is hydrogen coefficient. So 16 comma 2. 16 comma 2. So answer is option A then now. 16 H plus ions and then 2 MnO4 minus ions. Option is A. Not correct here, option A here. Next one. Which of the following is disproportionation reaction? Same element must undergo oxidation and reduction. Same element. So if you see the option B, D and C, we don't have same element in two different products now. But if you see option A, copper is there in two places now. So Cu2O and then here Cu and then Cu plus 2. Cu2O means Cu is in plus 1 state here. 0 and plus 2 state here now. So plus 1 to 0 reduction, plus 1 to plus 2 oxidation. So therefore option is A. Then the reduction of dichromate by Fe plus 2, the number of electrons per chromate, per chromium ion is, per each chromium ion is. So here Cr2 O7 minus 2 becoming Cr, so 2 Cr. Number of electron transfer here now. So here it is plus 6 now. Plus 6 state per each atom. So plus 12 will come here now. Plus 6 here now. Total number of electrons are 6 here, but per each chromium atom will be 3 electrons then now. So option A is correct. 2 chromium atoms, 6 electrons. For each one, 3. So answer is option A. Then the oxidizing agent in the following reaction. Let us write the oxidation numbers Ki plus I2 giving rise to Ki3. So here is zero oxidation state here. Ki3, complete I3 will have totally -1 state now. Also -1 here now. And so 0 is becoming -1 here now. 0 becomes negative state here now. 0 becoming negative state means it is decreasing now. Undergoing reduction. Undergoing reduction means oxidizing agent. So I2 is the oxidizing agent. So option is B. So B is the correct answer. Today we will discuss questions from P block elements. The first one, borax is. So formula of borax is Na2 B4 O7 10H2O. The molecule is 10H2O. It should be decahydrate then. Borax is decahydrate. Option C. Second one, H3BO3, that is boric acid is. So we have to see the nature of boric acid. Let us take an example like this. Boric acid, BOH taken thrice. So boron is electron deficient. Plus water molecule. Let us write H plus and OH minus. This takes electron pair, gives rise to, it will be BOH taken 4 times, minus sign, plus H plus. So boric acid basically accepts electron pair, means it is a Lewis acid and gives 1 proton, therefore monobasic. So it comes under a Lewis acid, monobasic in nature. So monobasic and weak Lewis acid. Option is A. So answer is A. Then number of simple covalent bonds BH present in diborane molecule. Let us draw the structure of diborane molecule. So boron, 2 hydrogens. So these are all these bonds, that is B, H, B bonds are electron deficient bonds, and boron atoms also contains BH bonds separately. So these bonds, this BH bonds, these 4 are normal bonds. So 4 you have BH bonds in them. These 4 BH bonds are normal bonds and these 2 BH bonds are electron deficient bonds. These bonds are also known as 3-centered 2-electron bonds. Some 3-centered 2-electron bonds. Now BH bonds will be 4 in number. So answer is B is the answer. So 4 BH bonds are there. B answer. Inorganic benzene is. Inorganic benzene is B3N3H6. Structure is similar to benzene molecule. Let us see the structure. Alternate boron, nitrogen atoms are present. And then we have alternate double bonds. Say double bond here, single bond, double bond here. Each atom has 1 hydrogen bonded to that. So NH bond. So B3N3H6. Structure is similar to benzene molecule. So B3N3H6. Option B. So B is the answer. Next. 3-centered 2-electron bonds are present in. Just now we have seen the structure of diborane molecule. Diborane contains 3-centered 2-electron bonds. If you see electron distribution, so boron atoms here, 2 hydrogen atoms here, we have only 2 electrons here now, like this. These are normal bonds only, BH bonds, normal BH bonds are there. So we have 3-centered 2-electron bonds in diborane molecule. So answer is option B. Next one. In diborane, banana bond is formed by again same thing is formed by, that is again this structure of diborane molecule. So here H here, two normal bonds this side, two normal bonds this side we have, and these bonds we call them as banana bonds here, because hydrogen s orbital here is overlaps like this. This one comes in this way, like this, and like this you have. So therefore these bonds we call them as banana bonds. So banana bonds are formed by, that is a two-centered, two electrons are there here now. Only two electrons are there, but you have three atoms altogether now. So it will be three centered two electron bonds. So two electrons will be there and three atoms will be present there now. So it will be three centered two electron bonds. Option A. So answer is A. Next, seventh one. Which of the following is incorrect? Regarding graphite here, graphite is soft, which is correct. Used as a lubricant is also correct. Has low melting point is not correct. Is having a higher melting point because of crystalline structure, and graphite is layered. Because of layered structure only it can be used as a lubricant as well as soft in nature. So incorrect option is B. B is the incorrect option. Incorrect statement means correct option for us. So answer is B. So B is the answer. Next question is 8th. The first ionization energy is lowest for. Some elements are given to us. We have to find out first lowest IP values. Let us write the positions of these elements in the periodic table. So carbon, 14th group element, and aluminum is there, means boron, aluminum you have. Then calcium is there, means it is beryllium, magnesium, calcium. Potassium is there, lithium, sodium, potassium. So definitely the first group elements have lower IP values, and down the group further IP value decreases. So among all of them potassium is going to have very much lower first IP value then. So answer is potassium, option C. So C is the answer. Which oxidation state is not shown by carbon in its compounds? So -4 is possible, say you can take compound CH4, +4 you can take compound CCl4, 0 you can take the compound CH2Cl2, but -1 is not possible for that. So option is C. So C is the answer. Next, 10th one. Which property increases with increase in atomic number from carbon to lead? Means down the group, which property increases? So we know metallic nature increases down the group, and stability of +4 will not increase, +2 will be increasing there. Down the group IE value decreases, EN value also decreases. So answer is option A. Metallic nature will be increasing down the group. So option A. Then thermodynamically most stable form of carbon. So graphite is thermodynamically most stable because graphite has least internal energy. Diamond is said to be chemical stable. Chemically most stable form is diamond. So now the answer is option B, thermodynamically most stable form, because of its least internal energy. Then stability of dihalides of silicon, germanium, tin, lead increases steadily in a sequence of. So means is asking about +2 oxidation state. Will be stability increases down the group because of inert pair effect. Therefore, lead can exhibit stable +2 form. So lead can exhibit stable +2 form. Therefore, the stability order for silicon +2 will not be stable at all. So least stable is this, highly stable is this. So silicon, germanium, tin, that is the order we have. So option is B. So B is the answer. Stability order of +2 state. Next, 13th one. Which of the following elements does not form stable diatomic molecule? So phosphorus, we know its atomicity is P4 but not P2 molecules. Others all have diatomic molecules only. So answer is option B. So B is the answer. The tetraatomic molecule. Then metaphosphoric acid has a formula of metaphosphoric acid HPO3. It's basically a cyclic structure. That is, for example, if you take trimer, so it comes like this. Trimer structure is in this way we have. So it is taken N times formula. So HPO3 is a metaphosphoric acid formula. Option B. Then, which of the following is tetrabasic acid? Tetrabasic acid means 4 OH groups must be present here. Now let us take option wise here. The first option, orthophosphorus acid, it is H3PO3. H3PO3 is dibasic acid. It has only 2 OH groups in that. So therefore dibasic acid. Then orthophosphoric acid is H3PO4. That molecule is tribasic acid. There are 3 OH groups in the structure now. Meta will have only one H group, already we have seen just now, monobasic acid. And pyrophosphoric acid. Pyrophosphoric acid formula is H4P2O7. So structurally it is like this, PO bond. We have 2 OH groups for each phosphorus atom. So OH here, one more OH here. We have POP bond present. So there are 4 OH groups here. Hence the molecule is tetrabasic acid. Tetrabasic acid. So pyrophosphoric acid is tetrabasic acid. Next, which of the following is not known? So NCl5 is not known because nitrogen cannot form 5 covalent bonds because of the absence of d orbitals. So answer is option A. Then the formula of phosphorus molecule is, that is P4 molecule, option B. Then oxygen molecule exhibits. Oxygen molecule property is paramagnetic property. It has 2 unpaired electrons in anti-bonding orbitals. 2 unpaired are there. 2 unpaired electrons they are in anti-bonding now. Anti-bonding. This comes from MOT theory. So therefore it exhibits paramagnetic property. Option is A. Paramagnetic property. Then the correct order of OO bond length in O2, H2O2 and O3 molecule. Let us see the structures of these molecules. Now H2O2 has a single bond between 2 oxygen atoms. So OO bond is single bond there now. If you take O3 molecule is a resonating structure. Resonating structure here. So we can take one more structure here like this. So single bond here, double bond here now. And O2 will be double bond altogether now. So single bond here, bond order is 1 here now. If you take bond orders, 1 here, this will be resonating structure. So the bond order comes to 1.5, bond order is 2 then now. So the longest bond will be a H2O2 molecule, then comes O3 molecule, then comes O2 molecule. So H2O2 greater than O3 greater than O2 is the order. So option is D. So D is the answer. Next, number of atoms in one sulfur molecule. So sulfur molecule is S8. There are 8 atoms then. Option is 8. Sorry, option is A. Next one. which one of the gas dissolves in H2SO4? Use oleum. Oleum is formed by H2SO4 plus SO3 gas in that, which forms H2S2O7. So molecule is SO3. Option is D. Next, among the hydrides of 16th group elements, only H2O is abnormally low volatility. That is high boiling point. This is because of abnormally low volatility is because of stronger hydrogen bonding present between the molecules. So it is having associated due to intermolecular hydrogen bonds are present. So therefore it exists as liquid at room temperature having higher boiling point. So answer is option A. Then mark the smallest atom. Smallest atom down the group atomic size increases. Therefore first atom is going to be smaller atom. So therefore option is A. Option A. Then mark the element which displaces the three halogens from their compounds. Fluorine, the first is highly reactive in nature. So you can see in this way, fluorine molecule plus KCl or KBr or Ki. This reaction takes place now. So fluorine can displace all the three. So most electronegative element, that is fluorine, strongest oxidizing agent, displaces all halogens from the respective halides. So answer is option A. Then hydrogen bonding is present in HF molecule, has hydrogen bonding in that. Fluorine is highly electronegative in nature. So hydrogen bonding is there. Answer is option A. Next, which one of the following orders is not accordance with the property stated against? So electronegativity order, definitely fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine is correct order only. Bond enthalpies order, this is not correct order given to us. Bond enthalpy will be chlorine will be more. So chlorine will be more than bromine, then comes fluorine, then comes iodine in bond enthalpies order. This is also correct order of oxidizing power. This is also correct order. So not accordance to means you can take option B, because this is the correct order of the bond enthalpies. Chlorine is having higher bond enthalpy value. So option is B. B is the answer. Then 27th one. Which one of the following halogen is solid at room temperature? So chlorine gas, iodine sublimating solid you have, bromine liquid, fluorine gas. So answer is option B. B is the answer, sublimating solid. 28th one. Which of the following outer electronic configuration represents argon? Noble gas elements have NS2, NP6 configuration, stable configuration. So answer is option B. So B is the answer. Next, structure of XeO3 molecule. XeO3 molecule has one lone pair, that is XeO3 will be having one lone pair and remaining three bonds. Like this you have XeO3. So one lone pair here, remaining three are bond pairs. It comes to pyramidal structure. One lone pair, three bond pairs, like ammonia molecule, pyramidal structure. So answer is option C. Noble gas which forms maximum number of compounds. Xenon forms because of its lowest ionization potential value among them. So xenon compounds are widely available also. So therefore option is C. So C is the answer. Then BCl3 does not exist as a dimer, but BH3 exists as a dimer. Now when you see the structure of the molecules, BCl3 molecule, there is a possibility of back bonding in the case of BCl3 molecule. Back bonding is there. That is it can form p-pi bonding is there. When it comes to diborane, hydrogen cannot form a pi bond. It's not possible there. So therefore, it is existing as only dimer. So we can say because it cannot form p pi bonds. There is no p pi bonds. Therefore, diborane molecule cannot exist as a monomeric molecule. So BCl3 molecule exists as a monomeric molecule because it is able to form p pi bonds. So let us see the options once again. Excuse me. So there is a p pi bonding in BCl3 but not possible in the case of BH3. So answer is option B. Next, number of sigma and pi bonds in peroxydisulfuric acid. Let us see the structure. Peroxydisulfuric acid is a peroxy bond is there in that. Yes, O, yes, and remaining sulfonic groups are present. So this is the structure of peroxydisulfuric acid. We need to count sigma and pi bonds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of them are sigma bonds, 4 of them are pi bonds. So 4 pi means option B. 11 sigma bonds and then 4 pi bonds are there. So 11 sigma and 4 pi bonds. Borazole, nothing but borosine we can say. Inorganic benzene is formed by the reaction of. So the ratio is 2:1 ratio we have. 2 moles of ammonia and a mole of diborane. Initially it forms diammoniate of diborane. Then on strong heating finally you are going to get borosine molecule. So option is A. So 2 moles of ammonia and a mole of diborane molecule. A is the answer, which gives borosine molecule. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity because graphite is having free electrons in that. Mobile electrons are there, so therefore it is a very good conductor. So carbon bonds is plain sp2, not correct. Yeah, it is a mobile electrons delocalized in each plane. This is the correct answer. So option is B. Because of free electrons, graphite is a good conductor. So answer is B. Then, the poisonous nature of CO is due to, so it forms very stable complex with hemoglobin which is called carboxyhemoglobin. Because of this, the hemoglobin loses oxygen carrying capacity. So reason is forms a stable complex with carboxyhemoglobin. Answer is option A. Then, which of the following represents the order of melting points among the hydrates of 16th group? 16th group hydrates, H2O is the highest melting point because of hydrogen bonding. For remaining molecules, we need to see the molecular weight order. Higher molecular weight order will be higher boiling point. Therefore, so H2O highest, then next one will be H2TE, then H2SE, then H2S. Means option must be C then now. C is the answer for this. So exceptionally we have H2O higher boiling point because of hydrogen bonding. Other molecules we have to see the molar mass now. The order of molar mass here. So option C. C is correct. Then oxidation state of phosphorus varies from 15th group element. So it varies from -3 to +5 state. So -3 to +5 state it has. So option is C. Then structure of pyrophosphoric acid. In one of the previous questions already we have seen pyrophosphoric acid. Its formula is H4P2O7. Therefore, structure is a tetrabasic acid. There should be 4 OH groups present in that. And therefore, molecule is B. Option is B. Then, laughing gas is prepared by heating. Laughing gas is N2O molecule. N2O molecule. Ammonium nitrate gives N2O molecule on heating. And ammonium sulfate gives ammonia. This combination gives us N2 gas. But this gives rise to NO2 gas. So laughing gas is by the first one, ammonium nitrate molecule. Option A. Then identify incorrect statement regarding oxygen and sulfur. Incorrect statement. Both form covalent bonds with metals. Okay. Both exist in diatomic state, which is not correct now, because sulfur exists as S8 molecule, but oxygen exists as only O2 molecule. So therefore, both cannot exist as diatomic molecule. Hence, option B should be correct answer for us. So option B. Then 41. Oxygen gas is prepared from the solid KMnO4 by what? So if you are heating strongly KMnO4, on strong heating, decomposes to K2MnO4 plus MnO2 plus O2. So the compound is on strong heating, you are going to get oxygen gas. So option is D. D is the answer. Then next, 42. Roasting up sulfur dioxide is obtained from. Let us write the reactions. Roasting up iron pyrites. Iron pyrites is FeS2. FeS2 on roasting, heating in excess of oxygen gas, we get Fe2O3 and sulfur dioxide. So S4 is obtained by roasting of iron pyrites. So option is A. Then 43. The correct order of increasing oxidizing power. Oxidizing power will be fluorine more than chlorine. So this is not correct option. So fluorine should be more. Yeah, fluorine is more here than chlorine, than iodine we have. Fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent. Then comes chlorine, then comes bromine, then comes iodine. That implies order is option D. So answer is D option. Not given here. Option is D here now. 42 is answer A. 43 answer D option. 42. The questions are being interchanged here. So iron pyrites already we have discussed it. 43 now it comes. So D is the answer here. Next one. 44. When chlorine is bubbled through aqueous solution of potassium iodide, iodine gas liberates because chlorine is bubbled through. So Cl2 gas plus Ki gives rise to iodine plus it forms KCl now. So chlorine is able to displace iodine. That is because chlorine is a powerful oxidizing agent when compared to iodide ions. So it can displace iodide ions from iodide ions. See, chlorine is a stronger oxidizing agent when compared to iodine. So chlorine can displace iodide ions from its salts. So therefore option is C. So chlorine, powerful oxidizing agent when compared to iodine. Therefore chlorine can displace I minus ions from its salts. Option C. C is the answer. Next. A reddish brown element X cannot displace halogen from its silver halide Y. This halide is insoluble in water. X belongs to a group whose salts are found in seawater. X and Y are. See, the X belongs to a salt whose salts found in seawater. Seawater salts are nothing but halogens. Halogens. So X is nothing but an halogen element, he says. And reddish brown element. Reddish brown is Br2 only. So therefore it should be Br2. So Br2 plus AgCl. Br2 cannot displace Cl minus ion. Cl2 can displace Br minus, but Br2 cannot displace Cl minus ion. So answer is option A. So 45. A is the answer. Next, which one of these is used by divers for respiration? Those are going deep into the sea, which is used for respiration purpose. They use a mixture of helium and oxygen because helium is not soluble even under high pressure under sea. So therefore helium is used mixed with oxygen. N2 cannot be used because N2 is highly soluble in blood under high pressure. So therefore helium is used. Option C. Then the geometry of XeOF2. XeOF2. So number of bond pairs are 3 and lone pairs are 2 in this shape. So bond pairs are 3 and lone pairs are 2 means it should be sp3d hybridized. So we have 2 fluorine atoms bonded here. Xe here, no, 1 fluorine atom here. We have one more oxygen like this, doubly bonded here. And there are 2 lone pairs here now. So it is something like T-shaped. So T-shaped structure you have. The T-shaped molecule. Then, so answer is T-shaped. 48. Number of non-bonding electron pairs on xenon in XeF6, XeF4, XeF2 respectively. Xenon actually has 8 electrons in that. XeF6, 6 are used for bonding. So therefore, number of lone pairs left are only 1 lone pair in xenon F6. So in XeF6 molecule, we have 1 lone pair left. XeF4, we have 2 lone pairs left, and XeF2 means we have 3 lone pairs left. So 1, 2, 3 is the answer. Option is B. B is the answer. Then 49. 49, match the following we have. So ClF3, PCl5, IF5, CCl4, XeF4 and structures now. ClF3, there are 3 bond pairs here and 2 lone pairs. So this is having 3 bond pairs, 2 lone pairs. So sp3d hybridization, but because of 3 bond pairs, 2 lone pairs, the molecule must have T-shaped structure. So therefore, this must be with 5 then now, T-shaped structure. PCl5 has all 5 bond pairs. So sp3d hybridization again, but it should be trigonal bipyramid structure then now. So you can take this as 3 then now. sp3d hybridization 3. Then IF5. IF5, 5 means 5 bond pairs are there. 5 bond pairs are there, IF5 means. And then we have one more lone pair present on that. One lone pair we have now. So altogether 6 means sp3d2 hybridization. But we have a lone pair of electrons on that. So lone pair of electrons on that, it should be then square pyramidal structure. So you can take this as 4th one then. CCl4, excuse me, all 4 bond pairs only. So therefore, it should be sp3 hybridization, no lone pairs. So structure must be tetrahedral structure. So you can take this as 2 then now. And when it comes to XeF4, 4 bonds means we have 4 bond pairs are there and still we have 2 more lone pairs present. Altogether again 6 sp3d2 hybridization. sp3d2 hybridization we have now. So finally, so E is left with option 1. So square planar structure. So let us see the options now. So A5, B3, C4, D2, E1. So option is B. So B is the correct answer for this. The next one. Identify the incorrect statements among the following. Chlorine reacts with excess of ammonia forming N2HCl. This is correct only. Brt with hot and strong NaOH forms NaBr, NaBrO4. This is not correct because Br2 with NaOH, if it is hot and having strong solution, it forms NaBr plus, it forms NaBrO3, it forms plus H2O. So therefore this is not correct. Then ozone plus O2 SO2 gives SO2 is also correct statement. Silicon forms Na2SiO3 with NaOH is also correct. So option left is B. So B is the